Looks like I'm live. Hey guys, welcome back subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed yet, welcome to my channel, Power Up Programming. In this channel, I do a lot of cool things related to code. I program interesting things, primarily video games, but I also do web applications. Please subscribe and like if these are things you'd like to learn about, or if you're a developer in training, or maybe a long-time dev who is looking to learn some extra things, something new. I have a lot to teach, and I would love to teach you guys the things that I do know, so that way you can improve your career and your career prospects. So, as the title says, I am programming out a 2D game engine using ChatGPT 4. If you haven't watched my last stream, go ahead and watch the last one where I set up the basics of the entity component system architecture that I'll be using. This is ChatGPT 4. So it's the updated new version of ChatGPT. So it's supposed to be a little bit smarter, but not as quick. We'll see how it is going forward. I want to show you guys what I've done so far. So currently I have set up the ECS system, and I have also set up the time step in order to make sure that we're playing at 60 frames a second. I will not be speaking so much in this video because this is mostly just for me to code and for you to watch. Feel free to ask questions in the chat or comment on the video after it's done for any questions you may have. But I'll try to narrate as best I can so that way you guys can learn as we go. But again, this isn't like a super in-depth how-to video. So right here, if you've watched the last video, you knew that I was facing some errors. I have fixed those errors, and now I have just set up, and I coded this. I didn't use ChatGPT for this. I've just set up the time step. So right now, I'll show you what I have, which is just a blank screen. I'm going to start rendering objects using the render system that I have, or rendering entities. So this is my screen. So let's start actually rendering things on this screen that we have. So right now we have the registry, and why don't we get system, and let's get the render system update, and let me make sure I'm importing. Okay, I am. And we need to pass in the registry and the delta time. Okay, so time difference. Alright, so I need to define the delta time. This time difference is actually the delta time. Oh. Not this. One second. Oh wait, no, maybe it's not. No, delta time is I have notes from the last time I did this. STL get ticks. Okay. Current time minus last frame divided by 1,000. Yes, that's the delta time. Okay. Need to fix that. And I guess this just equals, I could just use double for delta time. What is that taking? Oh, it's taking a float. We can make it a float, I guess. It's fine. And it's taking a address of registry. Cannot be initialized with type of engine. I'll come back to that. Okay, so this looks good. So we're getting the current time with the ticks. We're getting the time difference and then subtracting. We're getting the difference between the current frame, the current time, the last frame, and then the difference between how many milliseconds we want the frame to be. So we're making this game to be 60 frames per second. And then if the time difference is less than the amount of time we want to wait, we'll delay. Then we'll set the delta time. And then we reset the last frame. Okay, and then... Oh yeah, because I don't need to pass that. What does it want? There we go. Okay. Yeah, because it actually wants the address. Okay. So then we're updating. And cool. So that looks okay. So let's go through this together. So the engine runs. It creates a component. Or sorry. There we go. Add system. We'll add the system first. The entity is created. We add the position component to the entity. Then in the update field, I need to move these here. Handles the time step, then passes the delta time to the system. And now in the update function, we need to actually render the registry, or render the entities rather. And let me start using the ChatGPT. So, hey ChatGPT, can you update the following render function to render all of the entities that are within that belong to this system. Oops, wait, hold on. Okay, that looks pretty good so far. Get registered entities. We do not have that function. But that should work. Can you write the implementation for the get registered entities function? Hmm. Ah, okay, now it's updating the add entity to systems function. Registry. It's definitely leaving some stuff out. Yeah, because what about this has all requirements function? So let's start at registry first. These are times when I wish I had multiple monitors because it's hard to read everything. There we go. Or actually, I'll just copy this. Why not? We'll follow ChatGPT since that is the purpose of this video. Start at system.h. Okay. So interesting. So before it was giving me I'm using system as a base class, and it was giving me a hard time to use that before. It was giving me this error where it wasn't overriding the system's base class method properly. So I actually removed it and I set it up slightly differently to where instead of just looping through the systems and updating it, the registry or the engine rather is simply just getting the system and updating it. Okay, this is storing the registered IDs as the entity IDs as an unordered set. Does it need to even hold those IDs? I don't think it even needs, the system doesn't even need to hold the ID because the registry has all the components. I guess you could do it in two ways. Like the registry does have all the components and all the entities that have those components. But that means if the system does not have a copy of those IDs, that means every time the system needs to loop through two enormous loops just to do a proper update. That seems like a lot more work versus just adding this data structure and holding the entity ID and holding it within the system class. I think in terms of performance, it probably would be better to follow to do this. We already have get component requirements. Okay, so I will do this. We're using standard type. I believe that's what it is. Yeah. Type index. Entity ID. Let me just do this. Component ID. That's funny. You know, this is the same the same instantiation of ChatGPT 4 that I was using yesterday on the first stream of this. It doesn't seem like it remembers what it did because it should know what the entity ID is. That's type index. That's the thing that it gave to me to use. You can see it. Where is it? Oh no, sorry, size T. That's what it used. Size T. 1 second. I'll put on some synthwave music for us.
What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
Update system implement the get registered entities and the get registered entities and registered entities.
I also like that it just adds comments. I also like that it just adds comments. What the difference is between the two. So it's clear what the difference is between the two. Your copy and its copy. Your copy and its copy. Just to make this clear. Just to make this clear. Vice versa of how I wanted to do this. Because the problem with this now is how is the system going to get this is not mapped yet. It's not mapped, but this is not mapped for it's not mapped for this map where you have your entity and anything. It's mapped where you have your entity and anything. We're starting off with the work first. We're starting off with the system first.
the type of system to be our key. To be our key. This will type index, that's right. So I think we should be able to just do. That's right. So I think we should be able to just map. Unordered map. Do standard type index. Do standard type of index of system. We can get a vector. Vector. We don't need pointers. We don't need pointers. Standard vector of. I guess we can just do standard vector of. Just do standard vector of size t. Just do standard vector of size t. That's how I would like to do this. There we go. That's how I would like to do this. Okay. These systems. Let's see this. These systems. That's good. Okay. Okay, so we inverse that. Okay. Okay, so we inverse that. go back to now, doing which was go back to add which was system. Okay, that entity, add the entity to the system. Okay, that the entity is added. Okay, so the entity should be. Okay, so the entity should
data
be
structure of the registry
properly
that we
put
created
into
to the data structure of the registry that we created.
So now, so now that we have this,
simply be able to go
okay,
to
so now that we have this,
and be able to say get registered entities, and when we say get registered entities, we're not going to use this. This is not how we do it. We're not going to use this. And what we will do is, two options, I think. I can. Now, I have either two options. I can move the system. I can either move the system to every system has its own copy. The system itself, so every system has its own copy. Or I just pass the pointer of the registry, or I just pass the pointer of the registry into system 2. I kind of like that idea more. I kind of like the idea of just holding a pointer to registry because we might
own type in again. It needs to pass its own type in again.
C plus. What is the C plus plus? C plus. What is the C plus plus syntax for classes? Done it in a different way. I've definitely done it in a different way. Last time I did it, I actually. Oh, see here. Last time I did it, I actually. Also, this may not be a constant, so I'm going to remove that. System.h, remove this. System.h, remove this. So then we will get the registry. So then we will get the registry, so return system entities, so return system to entities.
Wait, no. No, this is getting it's going to get vector. It's going to get coding myself a little bit so it's slower.
Okay, so
But this should properly get
kind of a lot, and I've started
all of
coding
the
myself
system
a little bit so
entities
slower.
that relate to this
But
system
this should
type
properly get
within
all of the system
entities
entities
that relate
property
to
this
data
system
structure
type
that's
within the registry.
the system to entities property or data structure that's within the registry. Now let's go to the system. And let's handle the render system, and let's handle update, and let's handle the render system, and let's handle update. Actually, so if every system, now that I'm looking at it, if every system is going to have a copy of registry, every system, we actually don't need that. If every system is going to have a copy of registry, pass registry, which is kind of like that. It's kind of it's actually nice. I'm glad that we did that. Worry about registry all the time. Get rid of this. Stop complaining. Oh, okay, good. This. Stop complaining. So now let's go and we'll do get. Get the system entities, so we'll get vector
Cannot access protected member in class system. Alright, we'll just solve this one at a time. Cannot access protected member in class system. Just for now, just to get it working. I don't like putting that in public, but we will just to make this go a little bit quicker. Just for now, just to get it working. I don't like putting that in public, but we will just to make this go a little bit quicker. Okay. I didn't make a mistake, but I overrided something that I should not have. I didn't make a mistake, but I overrided something that I should not have. When I was adding. make it equal to this. And registry is a pointer already. Is that bad? Let's make it equal to a pointer. LOL. Oh, forgot a semicolon, of course. Alright, well, if registry is just going to be a pointer, that can be dangerous, but I like to live dangerously. 51, what's the problem? Wait. Oh.
says the system's entity of the year identifies now down. Oh, you know why? Okay, so we shouldn't see anything on the screen yet. Oh, well, here's the delta time, though, too. Cool. So that's working. All right. 2-minute break. I'm going to get water and use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Told that the music was too loud. I'll just turn this off. And let me see. Hey, Cameron. Hope, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you're learning something along the way. So, yeah. Okay, I turned off the music. Hopefully, you can hear me now better. I'm using this microphone right here, so it should be,
It should be catching my voice well. But anyway, all right. So now we are using the, what is it? We're using this render system, right? We have our update function. Okay. And we are properly passing the delta time. Super. And why don't we, you know what, also just to test this out, let's just make sure entities. I just want to make sure that we actually are getting an entity. All right, yeah. Yeah, see, I don't think we're getting any entity in here. And that's probably because when we're creating the entity, it is not properly being put into the registry's data structures, unfortunately. So, okay, that was the first time we really tried to do a little debugging. We really tried to run our game to make sure it was working. So let's go through this. We'll debug this step by step. So we create the entity, and then the entity counter, it's ++. Now in the engine system, so we're adding a component, but when do we ever, oh, you know what? We don't have any data structure. Oh, we do have this data. We do have a data structure. I thought I changed this. Okay, so I'm thinking kind of in my head a lot, but let me explain what's going on. So I thought I changed this yesterday, but maybe I got sidetracked. This data structure is not ordered properly. It's supposed to go where we have each component ID, and then each component ID is it's going to be like an array, and then each indice will correspond to a specific component. And then within that specific indice, we have another array that comes down, and each one of that second array's indices needs to correspond to the entity. And when the system goes through, we're supposed to go through the components that the system is interested in and get the entities' IDs that are in there. And then we pull that out, and then we alter those component values. I thought I changed it, but I'm looking at it here that we never did change it. Yes, this is okay. So no wonder there is a little bit of a bug in our code. Okay, so we already wrote a lot of code with this. Let me see where we're add to system. This is kind of a mess, actually. Okay, so we don't need this code. I just want to add a system. Very simple. This is the system that will add the entity, and this is properly set up. But it's set up in the inverse, so this is what I thought I changed yesterday.
That end. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a bit of a doozy. So we have the entity, okay, we get each one of the system. Then we get the component requirements, right, which is unordered set of component IDs or type index. This is the registry. Wait. I'm not very familiar with this kind of syntax, so why don't I do it like... Oh, I can't comment this out. I don't have the proper key binding set up. I might just write this by hand. So we need to, and let me look for components. Where else are you? I'm going to rewrite some of this by hand right now. Yeah, see, maybe that's another limitation of ChatGPT. It's not as consistent as it should be. It does think about the things that came before in the conversation, but it doesn't always remember it with 100% accuracy. It's funny. I'm like realizing the limitations or the imperfections of ChatGPT as we go. Get system. Okay. Add. Okay, so we need, we don't need this. The data structure we need. So we're actually going to just have a vector. We're going to have, let's see, ordered map of size T. No, we can start this off with a unordered map. Entities. They use two unordered maps. Okay. To another unordered map. STD size T. First indices the ID of the component, and then the I'm trying to like think about this because no, actually, just a vector. See, the problem is though a vector is ordered, or it'll resize.
I guess, you know what? I guess it would be, yes, because I do want to, okay, I do want to get the component std shared pointer to component. If I really want to be super accurate, it's component ID to entity ID to component object. That's like the full name of this. That's really what it is, because that first size t is the component. First size t is equal to component ID. Then the ordered map, the second ordered map, or the second size t is equal to entity ID, which then corresponds to the component. Once I get this all up and running and working, you're going to see that it makes a lot of sense, and it's a pretty cool way to structure an application. It's just a lot of overhead that's rather complex if you don't know the theory. Okay, so shared pointer. That's really what it is, but we'll call this component entity mapping. Oh, am I missing one? Ah, yes, I'm missing a. God, it's a lot. Okay. And then we will do another vertical. It's funny. So using ChatGPT cost me a little bit of efficiency, actually, because now I got to rewrite some of this stuff. Okay, so then when we add, I'm going to make this even more verbose. Add entity to system to make it very clear. Add there we go. Entity to system. Okay. All right. So now we go through the systems, right? And we get the component requirements. So this was correct. And that gives us this type index, right? Okay, component requirements. Type index. Okay, so no, sorry, it's not size t. It's going to be type index. Yeah, type index. That's fine. Okay. Can I loop through? Can I loop through an std unordered set normal for loop? That'd be nice. Okay, I can. Okay. So for, and then I'm very verbose. I like having the type there because it just makes it easier to understand for me. Component for component requirements.
expected what? Oh. Here. No, we don't need constants. Okay. Okay, so now that we have the type index, let's access this STD unordered map. So I'm even going to do this. Let's get it. And we're going to go through each requirement. And if each component, so if each, okay, so we're going to go through each component. If the entity ID is not within that component, we break the loop, because that means that the entity does not fulfill the requirements. It does not have each one of the components that is needed. So therefore, it will not be going into our system. Cool. Okay, so let's now get the... so now what we're getting is we're getting the entity to component object. That's what it is. And I'm not really liking this two-screen situation. There we go. And let's call this component map to entity. Oh, no, that's not true. Wait. Component type. Component entity mapping. So we're going to access here. And then we're going to do type ID of component type. Okay. Yikes. That is a lot of syntax. Well, C++ is not known for being concise. It's a very verbose, wordy language. Okay, so now that we have that size T, so that's the entity ID. Okay, so now let's do if, and then let's, how should I access this though? Let's ask ChatGPT. I've been coding a lot. Why don't we have our buddy help us out? I want to find a shared pointer within this unordered map using the std size.t value. However, I do not want to throw an error if the value of this key value pair does not exist. What method should I use to look for this value within the unordered map? Oh wait. Sorry. And this is the data structure, which I forgot to add. Okay, so just use find.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's just an iterator. Okay. So we'll just do auto. I will use an auto for the iterator though. So entity to component dot find the entity. Oh. So if it equals entity to component end, then we can just break the for loop. I hope that won't break the first. Wait, hold on. If I have I should know this, but after you code for so long, sometimes you forget the most basic things. If I have two for loops, and within the first for loop I use a break, will that break out of the second for loop? Okay. And we'll continue iterating. Okay. I don't need a demonstration like you though. You know what? Whatever. Just keep going. Okay. Break. See, I thought it was weird it would use return because I'm pretty return will just break the whole entire function. We'll just set a flag. Bool add to system equals false. I'll start set it to true. If it goes to the end and doesn't find it, then add to system false. To system, then do system and the name of the data structure, component entity mapping. Oh no, sorry. Okay, cool. So that's how that should be set up. Now, are we setting up this component? This whole component shit? No, I don't think so. Yeah, this is with the old broken code. Okay. Oh. I'm gonna close this out. You just close the dockable window if you'd like to use it again. Type index. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so here, now for this data structure, we need to change this data structure around. And we want to start off with the type index of, type index, excuse me, of the component is equal to component type. There we go. Okay, so add component. Make sure. ID of T. All right, okay. Unordered map, and then entity, which is then equal to that shared component. That's how we're going to do this. And then we need to change this around too. So we can do auto is equal to components, type ID, T, entity, no, find, sorry, find entity. It's not equal to is it lowercase? Yes, it's lowercase. If it's not equal to type ID dot end. Can you get out of my face, please? Thank you. Static cast. Get that first. Can this error just stop, please? Whatever. Okay, so now we're adding the component, we're removing the component. So whenever a component is added, it's space for is made. Now, will the unordered map throw an error if a component doesn't already exist? I feel like it will. So if component entity mapping type ID undefined, no. I'll just use find again. So all of it, component entity mapping, find if it's equal to end, component entity mapping it is equal to end. Then component entity mapping type ID t is equal to there we go. Okay, that looks better. Honestly. Okay, so the add component, it will create that new space if it doesn't exist. The get, the add system. Now I'm going to build it. Let's see what errors I get, because I'm sure I got some errors. Okay, only 5. Let's see. Identifier not found. Okay. Okay, that looks like all of the possible errors. Let's just see if something else crops up. Okay, what happened now? Okay, there's a specific syntax. For an unordered map. I'd add a new key. Insert. Insert. Okay, that's what happens. It's insert. Type ID. I don't need new. Okay. Ah, I forgot to delete the square brackets. Duh. Okay. You know what I do like about ChatGPT is it's very good for just like passing it error messages and having it do some kind of basic analysis, which definitely helps when you've been coding for maybe like 2 hours like I've been. It's probably a good thing to do when you start getting tired. The issues with the use of make pair when using the types of... Oh, interesting. Oh. Yeah, see, like... yeah, see, those are things that I should have caught myself, actually. I just did that to compare. STD. STD. Wow, he's saying both of these versions should work without any errors. It's quite bold of you. Let's see if you're right. Because you're more wrong. You're more often wrong than I am. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Wait, whoa. Let's, okay, cool. Abort. That's fine. Okay, so I think I fixed that up just enough. I would like to... We need now to go back to what we were doing before. And... or maybe we should not. Let's just go back to creating the entity. All right, we add the register system. Okay. Let's go to the add system function. Add system.
std system has been added, and then we could just do that. Actually, I probably should. Actually, it doesn't even have the. Yes, it doesn't have it. Of course, it does not. Include. Okay. Okay, so add system. Let's see the create entity. Well, the entity I don't believe is ever added to add entity to system. I don't think it's ever added. Entity is being returned. Lion. I know that's not the right syntax. What is the syntax? How do I fix syntax? Add component. 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 Adding. Type ID. Component to this entity. Cool. And let's see where we go wrong. Oh, I already see a bunch of errors. I forgot an IO stream. And L identifier not found. Oh. Ah. Okay. Why isn't it interpreting as... Why isn't it interpreting it as that? Oh, duh. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I think this stream I'll stop soon. I've been just coding for... Actually, how long has this been going on for? Almost 2 hours straight, really, without any break. Name. Okay, let's see where the console logs occur. Entities created being returned, creating this component. Okay, it's a shared pointer, yes. Adding component class. Adding component class. Where is it? Adding component. Okay. To this entity. Okay, it looks like it works pretty well. Let's go back to the engine. Add entity to system. Ah, so something... Okay, something is going wrong within here. I may be back on a little bit, guys, but I'm going to take a break. Stay tuned. I'll probably be back on a little later today to finish coding this out. I do want to, by the end of the day, get something showing on the screen. This is a lot of like overhead work that must be done in order to set up the system correctly. But you're going to see once we set it up, things are going to move very quickly. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Again, a lot of work goes into this YouTube channel. Check out my Legend of Zelda video series. I use this kind of system to build out the Legend of Zelda. It's really cool. Anyway, though, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the channel.